Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and we are pleased to have back in the studio longtime friend and colleague of mine. She's now the executive director and CEO of Resounding Joy, and that is Kerri Fox. How you doing, Kerri?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Very good. You brought in a colleague of yours, Alysia Elston. She is a veteran. Thank you for your service very much.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
And getting a member of Resounding Joy's veteran band. Can't wait to hear what you do with the band over here. Joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc. They're going to be celebrating their 20th anniversary this year.
And so is Resounding Joy.
Yes, we are.
Maybe you can do dual 20th anniversary.
Something, yeah.
Right, there you go. Big shindig on October 10th in Liberty Station, huh?
True story, yeah. We're going to have, libations and hopefully some music and good food. And
well, you got a band member right here.
I mean, I would take it. I'm looking for some music. So honestly, any tips would help out. So
Why don't you get us started, Kristen?
yeah, let's just talk about the mission of Resounding Joy.
Sure. So we are a nonprofit music therapy organization, and we use music therapy to help people psychologically, emotionally, physically. So technically, the mission is the therapeutic use of music. Mm-hmm. So there is science backing what we do and how we can heal people.
That's amazing. And so for people that aren't, well-versed in music therapy or what a music therapist is, can you take us through what that is?
Sure. So it is a health profession. Music therapists get an undergraduate degree. Sometimes it's a BA, sometimes it's a BS, depending on the university, in music therapy. And they, to graduate, need to be proficient in multiple instruments. Typically, it's piano, percussion, guitar, as well as vocals. And then they take a series of science classes, psychology, biology, neurology, so that they can understand, the brain and how music works with the brain. Then they have to go through 1,200 hours of practicum that includes an internship, and then they have to pass a board test. So they are board-certified music therapists.
Wow, very cool. Did you know that?
I did because
okay, fine. All right. Did you know this before the last podcast?
I did actually, because I've heard.
Okay, I rest my case. I'm done. You take it from here.
Remember, I'm old and feeble, and I've been doing the show for.
You're not feeble, but you do know a lot of things.
Exactly.
So.
Well, I'm not sure, but no, Resounding Joy. We had him on way before even Kerri came on. I've known Kerri when she was a big time chief cook and bottle washer at the San Diego Children's Museum.
Oh, nice.
Over there. And so did a great job in that area over here. This is a perfect fit for her and all the things she used to do at the museum and so forth. Jump a little bit ahead over here because it's going to tie into what Alysia is doing over here. Talk about your Sounds of Service programs. What's that all about?
Yeah, so we have multiple programs. This is one of our biggest. With San Diego being home to, I think it's 35% military and veterans, it makes sense that one of our largest programs is focused on that community. So we started this probably 15 years ago, working with a lot of the veteran organizations in town, military-connected families, specifically focusing on people who are, sort of re-entering civilian life. There's a lot of things that veterans go through, whether they're working through a physical injury, traumatic brain injury, or anxiety, depression, social isolation, reunification with their families. So we work with veterans on an individual basis as well as in groups, drumming, guitar, songwriting. And over the years, we had veterans who have gone through the program and learned instruments and wanted to then show people and were ready to perform and help us raise money and raise awareness for music therapy. So we created this band.
Right. So are you familiar with the San Diego Military Advisory Council? Okay. So I've been working with them for, almost 20 years, and they certainly talk about this every single month at their monthly breakfasts about the transitioning folks going from the military to civilian life and so forth. Have you ever gone to one of those breakfasts?
I haven't, but I think you're going to invite me to the next one.
I think you're 100% correct. And maybe even Alysia as well. I mean, it's,
nice.
It's in the wheelhouse, exactly what you're talking about. They meet either at MCRD or at the Emerald Kid Club, but they're all about, certainly talking about what's going on in the world, in the military, but also the things about people who are doing the transition. So, Alysia, which branch did you serve?
I served in the Navy.
For how long?
For almost 6 years.
Again, thank you for your service. Were you
you.
here in San Diego?
I wasn't. I actually was prior to San Diego. I was in Florida.
Okay.
So that's where I was stationed for the bulk of my service, and
Right.
then I moved out here with my spouse.
Okay. Is your
yes.
spouse in the military?
Yeah.
Okay. And what's he do?
She's still in.
Or she, excuse me.
Yeah.
He does what?
She's still in right now, but she's stationed on a ship.
Where? Which one?
The USS Somerset.
Okay. Very, very good. Is she deployed now?
No, they actually just came back from a deployment, like a few weeks ago, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
So I get to have her back.
Very good. So how did you find out about Resounding Joy?
Good question.
You just stumble onto it?
So I had a rough transition getting out of the military.
Yeah.
So after serving 6 years, I ended up having to get out due to a mysterious medical illness that I'm still dealing with now. It's rare. They don't really know what it is. Some sort of myopathy. So I had a rough transition getting out because I wasn't quite ready to get out yet.
Right.
So then after that, I had a severe anxiety attack. And I was like, okay, I take mental health extremely serious. That's one of my number one.
Yeah, we talk about that a lot. Yeah.
So I had a severe anxiety episode and sought out the mental health clinic here in the VA. I think it's called the VA Healthcare Systems.
Right.
In La Jolla.
Right.
And they gave me this giant packet of things that you could do in order to help your recreational therapy, equestrian therapy, a bunch of different therapies, and Resounding Joy was on there for their drum circle group. And I was like, oh, I love drums because I was a percussionist in high school. So I was like, I'm going to go ahead and try that out. And then I joined up and came to their first group, super nervous, severe anxiety about it. But, everybody welcomed me with open arms.
So here you are dealing with all of these things, which is a lot. Just absolutely kudos to you for the courage to do this. Not easy to do that stuff.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. And now you walk into this Resounding Joy. I don't know anyone there. You kidding me? I'm just going to walk in but the drums. I love drums. I've done drums and all that. What was the first experiences? You're there. What was your first hour like?
I walked in, and I'm the youngest one in there. I seem to be the youngest one anywhere that comes to the VA. And the first person that I meet is Tia, who was the music therapist,
right?
Leader of the drum circle. Okay. And she welcomed me, and we kind of just dove right in. You just start drumming, and you kind of get on this energetic wave with each other, where you all end up just drumming whatever it is that you're feeling, and it ends up being this really great piece that comes out. And you spend the whole hour drumming, and it takes me away from the anxiety. So when I was super anxious walking in, by the time I left, I was extremely just chilled out, mellow.
Well, I bet it helped because you had been a drummer before, right? So you give me 2 sticks, and I don't know what the heck. I'm probably to break the drums, for God's sake. That's even possible to do that in that area. And so now, do your and your partner, you have a drum set at home?
Funny question. I actually just bought one because after joining the band, I was like, I really want to practice at home, so I did just buy one.
Yeah.
It's a white one. It's porcelain, so I call them. I call it Porcelain Ivy, Pie for short. It's this beautiful white drum set.
Right. So, how much do you play now? Do you with Resounding Joy in this program? You go to them once a week? Do you go to once a month? You do it on your own? How does that work?
It's once a week. It's every Monday.
Nice.
I did do individual sessions, and also the drum circle and also band practice, and everything was in like one day. So I would get there around like 3.
Should have brought your drum set with you today.
I should have. I could have played.
You know what? Maybe yes. Well, maybe everyone will tap on the table. We're talking to Alysia Elston. She is a veteran. Thank you for your service in the Navy and a member of Resounding Joy's veteran band, joined by Kerri Fox, Executive Director and CEO of the organization. I'm Drew Schlosberg. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We are brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. 6 decades of doing great things in the community, broadcasting from their studio here in Scripps Ranch, joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. Kristen, do you play any music? I know you sing. I know you act. I know you do everything in between.
I was a vocal major, and Alysia was reminding me of when you have to do certain ensembles as part of the voice program. So I took African drums, and it was awesome. It was like the most fun. And same thing, you just go in, and like everybody would just like start to get on the same wavelength, and it was the best. Like all your troubles just sort of melt away.
It's kind of hard to explain. The whole wavelength thing.
And you're just chill, and like everything's gone, and it's incredible.
So the next time Alicia's in, you're going to bring so African drums, explain are they different than what Alysia has?
There were like lots of different types of drums. This was like, when did I go to college? It was like 20 years ago. So, I just remember how amazing it was. Like you were talking and I was like, oh my gosh.
It's so memorable.
Yeah, it was incredible. So but no, I don't play anything else very, very well.
So the veteran band, Kerri, I mean, do they literally perform as their, besides percussionists, are there saxophone players? Are there...
Yeah. So we, and I want to talk about drum circles too after, but so the band right now, we've got people playing the guitar, we've got keyboard, I think we've got a couple different people playing percussion, and then we've got a couple... volunteers, so Tia is still our point person, our music therapist, who's a point person with all of our veteran programs, helps with the band. And then we've got a volunteer who he's in another band and he sort of helps us coordinate. And we do perform. So what we do, and I also just wanted to say that what helps this program go is that we've got some grant funding so that none of the veterans that come to the drumming, the guitar, the songwriting, and the band practice, the jam session every Monday, that's all funded by either a grant, an individual donor, because we don't want the veterans to have to pay. So that's important to us. But they do perform. So we try and get them maybe 4 to 6 performances. Some people are a little more anxious about it. So sometimes we'll have a portion of the band. Sometimes we'll have the full band. But we are we've done a couple of showcases, and we do have an event coming up where the band will play. So on October 5th, so it's just before your event. We're going to be here in Scripps Ranch at a private residence. They do house concerts, and they're giving us the venue for free and helping out. They've got a whole stage that's lit. They seat about 125, 150 people. And our band is going to perform, and they're going to play, popular cover songs as well as some.
Is the public invited?
Public is invited.
So
come check us out.
Go to your website?
It's on our website. It's on the homepage of the website. There's a landing page with more information. You can buy tickets. Yes, and I actually have a stack of postcards I'm going to leave with you.
Beautiful, very, very
about
good.
The event.
So what time on October 5th?
So it starts at 5:00. The band will start playing a little before 6. We're going to have some appetizers and nibbles, libations, and then the band will perform. And we're actually probably going to end with. I get by with a little help from my friends and get some of our board members who haven't played in a while, but we're getting their instruments out, and I may be out there, with a little bit of maybe tambourine or something like that.
So are you going to be playing in this?
I am going to be playing in this.
Goodness.
You guys should really check us out.
Nice. Well, are you going to do a solo?
I do. I have an original song that I'll be performing. I don't know which one right now. I got to make that decision actually. But yeah, I'll be getting that. Be getting the chance to do that, so that's going to be fun.
That is fantastic. So it's going to be on the 5th. You go to the website. Is there a title for this thing? Is it?
So we call it's our 6th annual. It's called Living Your Dreams.
Okay.
And it is. We've played in different places. We played at the VFW last year. We played at the Elks Lodge this year with this private home. We're raising money specifically for veterans. We've got a very long list of veterans that want either individual or want to join one of our groups, and we want to be able to fund that. So we're raising money for that. The beautiful thing, and when she's talking about her original song, is several of the veterans have written original songs about their experience and about this process. And there's a lot of emotion and story in it. And what we love is just the courage to have come through music therapy, now in the band, and now able to perform, tell their story, so that other people will learn about the benefits of it. So we love this event because it's just perfect for what we do.
No, when we come back from break, we could talk more about drum circles and all that. I want to find out about this tambourine expert that's sitting across with me over here. Kristen, I'll be hounding her throughout the years on the African drums. I'll tell
Great.
you that.
Can't wait.
On this. And when we come back also, we'll talk about some of the other programs that you do as well. And get back to, Alysia on what this has meant for her. Obviously, you can see that she's, just absolutely... by the way, you do very well on the podcast.
Thanks.
I'm your own podcaster. You might want to start that as a business as well. In that vein, and then as we always, as you know, Kerri, for being on my show many years, we'll save some time for how our listeners can support you. Obviously, going to the October 5th shindig would be one of them as well. When we return with our friends from Resounding Joy, Kerri Fox, Executive Director and CEO, joined by her colleague Alysia. She is a veteran, Navy veteran, and a member of Resounding Joy's veteran band. I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, joined by my host, Kristen Fogel. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and now I'm an expert egg shaker. We will explain that a little bit later. Let's take another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union. We are the longest running community podcast, now in our 18th year, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 6 decades. We're doing great things in San Diego County. Joined by my co-host, Kristen Fogel, Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. They're celebrating their 20th anniversary as well. And a big shindig on October the 10th. Thrilled to have with us. Return appearance by Kerri Fox, Executive Director and CEO of Resounding Joy, joined by her colleague, Alysia Elston, veteran. Thank you again for your service, and member of Resounding Joy's veteran band. October 5th is a big event. It'll be on the website, Resounding Joy, big concert put on by the Resounding Joy veteran band. You get to see Alysia knock down on some drums over here, and she's going to be playing an original. Do you have the name of a song? Are you allowed to say it, or is this sort of, you don't want to do a spoiler alert? You have to be there to find out.
You got to be there to find out.
There you go. See, that's terrific. Kristen, what questions do you have?
Lots of questions. I was in an executive director group with your founder. Is it Barbara?
Barbara Royer.
Barbara, yeah. And we got to talk a little bit about Resounding Joy, but can you tell us how she came to develop this amazing organization? Because I can't remember, and I'm sure it's an interesting story.
Sure. I love that you were in that group with her.
Yeah. And Tomoko from the New Children's Museum. Yeah, from Fieldstone.
Oh my gosh. So separately, we'll have a drink and find out how many people we know in common.
For sure.
So Barbara had come out here, and in the 80s, she started a for-profit music therapy organization called Music Works. And they were, working in the community, and if people could pay, they could get music therapy. And she realized there are a lot of people out there who can't afford it, but could really benefit, especially when it comes to mental health, children in the hospital, and veterans and older adults. So she started a nonprofit music therapy called Resounding Joy. And for 20 years, she ran both organizations.
Oh, wow.
And so Resounding Joy gets a lot of its funding from grants and donors and corporate sponsors and foundations. And then we use that money to do work for free in the community. So it's really what differentiates us from any other nonprofit is that we are a nonprofit. So Barbara had that vision, and she ran both organizations, and she did an amazing job. She's an icon in the music therapy world.
Yeah.
She's been, people know her nationally, and she was running an intern program where people were coming from all over the country to San Diego, and interning with both organizations actually, and doing a lot of really great work out in the community. But she retired from the nonprofit, and then I came in. But she's still running the for-profit, and she and I, we collaborate, we talk. She's an advisor to the organization, and still very involved in music therapy.
Very cool. And what drew you to the organization?
Well, I had a for-profit part of my career and a stay-at-home mom part of my career. And when I went back in for my third career, I went into nonprofit because I wanted to, wherever I worked, I wanted to make sure that it was doing something good for the world. So I worked at the New Children's Museum, as you mentioned, and it was kids and art. And
I'm there a lot. I have a 5-year-old, yes.
Oh, yeah. And I love the mission. And so when I was looking for a new position, I wanted to make sure that I could see myself, all over the county, talking about the benefits of it, and really, truly 100% believing in what it did and knowing that it was changing people's lives. And when this opportunity, came up, I'm like, this is it. And I didn't know a lot about music therapy, but the more I learned, by the time I went through the extensive, search process and had to present in front of the board for an hour answering a whole series of questions.
So fun.
I was ready, and I was like, I can see myself here. I can see myself doing this. And this week alone, I spoke at Aquinas last night. I feel like I'm constantly out there talking with people, and increasing the contracts we're doing and the people that we're serving. So what drew me was really what this organization does, what music therapists do. They're a lot like artists, obviously, very talented, very empathetic, very adaptive and resilient, and they see what the people they're working with need and work on that. So that's what got me here.
That's lovely.
Well, I mean, listen, there's no question about it. Kristen has heard me say this a million times, and you probably know this, Kerri, because you know me for a long time. Live music is in my DNA. I go to the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival.
You go to concerts more than anyone I've ever met.
Pretty much 35 years I've been going since 1985.
But just in general, I mean, like your weekly docket is 100%. Like 50% or more concerts. Yeah, it's out of control.
So
Weekly,
I'll do 43 more concerts this year at Humphreys and so forth. I have in a boat that's right there. But the bottom line is, maybe I'm a little bit weird, and then don't answer that question because the answer is yes. But music is so important to my life and so many other people's, obviously, to Alysia's, to say the least, in this area. And whether you have anxiety or not, music is a connector. It's a collaborator. It's an empathizer, if that's a word, and so forth. And you've heard me say this before, Kerri, because I'd say this all the time when I'd interview you and Judy Forrester and Tomoko when you were at the Children's Museum, because of my background in writing curriculum and for city schools. You could teach every single subject under the sun just with music. Yep. You can teach history, language arts, physics, math, science, you name it, AI and all that business. I cannot even begin to imagine a world without music, to say the least. Obviously, all the great stuff it does for folks like Alysia, and Kristen and I talk about this all the time. where would you like to see Resounding Joy go? I mean, in the vision of it, grow 10-fold, 50-fold, 4 billion-fold. Talk about that.
We've actually been going through strategic planning and trying to identify how big. It's hard to quantify, but there is no doubt we could be serving
100%.
50 times more people than we're serving. And I feel like what we're doing is impressive, and what Barbara has built is impressive. Mm-hmm. And I do want to see this organization grow. There's a few 100,000 veterans. I don't think, we're barely scraping the surface there. There's, I think, 500 schools in San Diego, and we're in a few of those. We're in, a handful of senior homes. I just feel like the number of people who are working through a physical or intellectual, mental challenge where music can benefit, it's kind of infinite. So what I see is really solidifying what we're doing here in San Diego and growing. And I could see us doubling or tripling in the next couple of years here in San Diego, and then going into other markets. I think because there's people everywhere, like you said, music, whether you're passively listening to it, it's receptive, or you are actively participating and playing an instrument or moving and dancing to the music, it really impacts so many parts of your brain. I mean, there's just a wealth of information about the science of music in the brain.
Well, there's no question about it. And so for Alysia, for somebody, whether they're a veteran or not, and obviously you got the experience of having served, but they're not a veteran. They just have some challenges. They're, we know in this world, a lot of people, are anxious, and there's reasons why they're anxious and all that business. What would you say to them about, you need to look up Resounding Joy, and here's why? What would you say?
Well, considering I'm sitting here extremely nervous right now.
Oh no, you don't sound it. You don't look it. You look as calm as can be,
and that's because of Resounding Joy.
I think it's because of you, but you're doing great. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Well, my experience with Resounding Joy, just given the short amount of time, me and Kerri actually got there around the same time. The short amount of time that I've been spending there, I went from being extremely anxious, just sitting here talking in a room with people, to being here on a podcast, probably getting listened to by other people and also talking to other people. The music, just the work that you do and the work that you put in, because it's not only just about the music, they also do breath work in some of these lessons. And we talk about life or whatever's bothering us during that time. And we also tie it into the music, and you just become like a big family with the group. So I would strongly urge people to join Resounding Joy. Not only do we need more people, it is also nice to hear, it's nice to be part of something, for the most part.
Well,
especially.
I mean, you're an absolute, wonderful example of, obviously anxiety is not easy to deal with,
Oh, no.
to say the least, in this area. And, for someone who thinks, I'm not sure how I'm ever going to get through this anxiety, whether it's because serving in the military or whatever the case may be, and here you are, and maybe your stomach's churning, you never know it, in this aspect of it. But the bottom line is you are just an absolutely great example of this is what Resounding Joy does. So if you don't think this stuff works, look at me, okay, and so forth. Kristen, we try to bridge a lot of the stuff that Kristen does, and her background is so varied, from, the arts and, being a playwright and acting, and of course now in her role at, San Diego Writers, Inc. Talk about the therapy of writing. Is there not a connectivity between the two to some extent?
I think so. It's one of those things. It's another form of the drum circle, right? Where 100%. You can just, let go and let a prompt or inspiration kind of take you away from whatever it is. So yeah, it is absolutely 100% therapeutic. And I also have to shout out my good friend, since we're talking about veterans. I work for Wounded Warriors. We do a female Wounded Warriors writing group monthly. Nice. So if people are interested in that.
When's that?
It's free. It varies. I'll give you the information,
yes,
though.
Please.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and I think, the thing about it is, what you do with San Diego Writers Inc., it's collaborative. You get to work with other people. Obviously, what you do is very collaborative. You're now working with some people you never met before when you first walked in for day one. And now you almost like, well, I think I've known you my whole life to some extent in this area. So when you work with people that are actually making you feel good, what a shock in this world, in this area. Kerri, besides the October 5th big concert that's going on, and then go to Resounding Joy website to find more about it, what can our listeners do?
Well, I think, we're looking to expand our volunteer program. And you can sign up on our website. I think there are a lot of people who are interested in music, who are interested in mental health, who would benefit themselves by volunteering and being part of what we do. And we can always bring people if they want to come to one of the veteran centers. We're at, multiple throughout they can come and join and be part of a drum circle and help facilitate. They can help us at events. I think, my biggest challenge here is educating people about music therapy as, a health and science-backed thing. And so I feel like I'm trying to raise awareness of music therapy in general, and then Resounding Joy specifically. Spreading the word. We do get a lot of referrals. Every time I do an interview or, I talk with a group, they introduce me to other people. So I think really just sharing the word, but also letting me know if there's an organization out there that's listening that wants us to come and work with their residents or their people. We'd love to do that. We work with a lot of social service organizations.
Right.
So referrals are incredible. I'm all over the community these days. So
you are. What's the website?
It's resoundingjoyinc.org.
That sounds good. Now, I have one request, okay? And if Alysia lets me do it, it'll be fine.
Oh, goodness.
Can I play with the band on October 5th if I bring the egg shaker?
Yes. And you have to be the loudest in the room.
I will be the loudest in the room over here. We'll see what happens. We have to ask, of course, if that's okay with Kerri to have me in.
Of course.
Okay, very
Anytime.
good. Kerri, always great seeing you, and looking forward to having you back on again with another person that has benefited from Resounding Joy. Alysia, just thank you for your service. Congratulations on what you're doing with Resounding Joy. Can't wait to see your solo piece make the top 10 in the Billboard top 40. We'll be looking for your name on this. As always,
Rising star.
Listen, we're going to make it happen over here. Kristen, thank you so much for everything. As our audience has been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest running community podcast, brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union for 60 years, is doing great things in San Diego County. We hope you enjoyed the show.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.